on, please. I'd like to call the March 12, 2019 meeting to order. We'll have our invocation. Mr. Woods, please, if you will.
Heavenly Father, once again, Lord, you allow us to gather together, Lord. Father, we thank you, Lord, for life, health, and strength. Father, we come forward this day, Lord, and let our mind come together to agree on many different things for our community. Continue, Lord, to keep our hands in your hand, Lord, throughout this day and throughout this year. These are all blessings in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. First, approval of agenda items. If you had a chance to look through your packets, there have been no additions or deletions.
I move we accept the agenda items as written. Second.
All right, it's been moved and second that we accept the agenda for this meeting approved as written. All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Thank you. Noting Ms. Plato is absent. First, we have a presentation by Ms. Bobby Brooms, who's director of our library. Ms. Brooms.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, members of council. First, I'd like to say thank you for all your support over the past several years to our public library system. We can't do any of what we do without you guys every year, setting the budget and supporting everything that we do. So from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of the public library, I'd like to say thank you for that. Since taking on this responsibility about 4 years ago, we've made huge strides in trying to overcome some of our community's major deficiencies. We've worked on maintaining that we're the hub of the community, and we've done this through strengthening our community partnerships, through our outreach and local initiatives, and trying to improve the overall quality of life in Marlboro County. We do this through programming with our federal prisons. We've established an ILL program with our federal prison, and we circulate about 75 books every 2 weeks there. We also have a partnership with the camp and the prison where we go out and we provide programming for the incarcerated fathers and their children, which I think is important because those are our citizens too. We participate in community festivals, showing our community that we're interested in everything that's going on, including the cultural activities. We're partnering with local schools, churches, daycares, civic, charitable, governmental, and private sector corporations. We also offer our bookmobile services, which includes checkout, library card sign-ups, Wi-Fi. We also participate in the open houses here at our local schools. We work every day to improve school readiness through our early literacy initiatives. We provide our story time and early learning activities through our children's 0 to 5, through our bookmobile checkouts, tech time, summer reading initiatives, and most recently our National Family Place Library Initiative. We were one of 2 libraries in the state that was chosen to be a pilot program for National Family Place Library, and we'll target all of our efforts on our children ages 0 to 5, getting them ready for school. And I think that's very special that we were chosen out of all other counties. We work to provide high-quality weekly programming to improve the overall quality of life in Marlboro County. We have senior citizen programming where there was nothing going on. Our McLeod Health ran out of funding to provide that programming. We picked up the pieces. We continue that weekly. As a matter of fact, our next program will be tomorrow at 10. We also have programming for adults with disabilities and special needs, and we do that weekly as well. And we partner with our local DSM board, and we usually have about 20 folks every week at the library. We also recently started young adult programming, which includes STEM programming. And so we're taking the science, technology, engineering, and math, and we're integrating that in what we're doing at the library once a month on the second Tuesday, and then again in 2 weeks, or the last Tuesday of the month, Saturday of the month. And we go out to AMI Kids. So we're working with those young adults as well. We offer top-of-the-line technology, and Mr. Munlum alluded to this earlier, but we do have a problem with high-speed internet in our county, and we're one of the few places that provides that to our patrons. We have 22 new computers, smart boards, tablets, laptops, early learning stations, We have 8 of those, 4 early literacy and then 4 after-school age programs, or computers. We have an 80 meg connection and Wi-Fi throughout our entire facility. That includes on our ground, so if you're standing outside the building, you have high-speed internet also, even after hours. We have mobile printing, which means if you're in a hurry to get to work and you need to get something printed off but don't have a computer at home, you can send that document through our library from your cell phone, from your computer at home, from wherever you are, and pick it up that same day. We have scan-to-email, faxing, and pay-by-credit and debit cards. Top-of-the-line microfilm reader, so folks have access to papers and their genealogy research. And then we also plan to have a computer lab up and going by the end of May. We offer a diverse patron-driven collection, and what I mean by that is since I took on this role, it's been every bit of my effort to make sure our people get what they need. If they walk in that door and we don't have it, either we're going to request it from another library, or if it's too new, we're going to buy it for them. So we make sure that our folks have what they need to be successful in life. And we also have newspapers, magazine, a huge children's collection. I know all of y'all were instrumental in getting, or a lot of y'all were instrumental in getting that library built, so you know all about it. But and we also have a huge parenting collection within that children's area of the library. We continue to work to offer a family-friendly space for everybody. When you walk in that building, it says welcome to everyone, and we mean that. We've got large community rooms, classrooms, computer labs, accessible up-to-date facilities with comfortable seating. We've got family play spaces on the way, 2 study rooms and a small meeting room for folks in our community. And most recently, and you'll see when we get to looking at our statistics sheet that I gave you in your packets, that our library is used. Over the past 4 years, we've worked to ensure our library remains the hub of the community. We've worked to maintain a space where community gathering, family engagement, and lifelong learning are not only offered but encouraged. We also work hard to ensure that our programs and services are both meaningful and will have a lasting impact on our citizens. I've heard from several community members recently, and one of the things they say is, y'all are doing way more than this library ever has. And we've got folks that care about what we're doing. I think that's written all over our county employees. Our folks care and they want to be there and do above and beyond. And it shows, and people are thankful for that. Before closing, I'd like to share a few recent impact statements, or stories rather, of some of our patrons in the last couple of years, and then our usage statistics. I'd like to preface these impact stories by saying libraries save lives. Oftentimes people forget about our little old libraries, but we mean a lot to a lot of people. We're the warmth during the cold winters. We're the cool when it's hot outside. We provide resources to families when they cannot otherwise afford them. Free wellness benefits, services, access to the physical resources like our computers and our Wi-Fi. Libraries model early learning strategies for new parents. We bridge learning gaps by linking families with local resources. We help individuals struggling with job reentry and link them with resources and skills needed to reenter the workforce. We pair the cold, struggling newcomers with a blanket from a community member that's making them. We assist first-generation college students to meet their learning goals by providing the resources needed, like books, internet, computers, and a quiet study space. We also offer a lending ear to the frustrated parent or grandparent or caregiver. Libraries are more than 4 walls and books. We save lives. Within the last year, we had a 59-year-old woman who received her associate's degree through our public library. She came every single day and sat at the computer and got her degree. We had a 54-year-old man move here, didn't have access at home. Every single day, came in the library, linked him to resources and internet. He got a job. He's in school. 30-year-old woman, master's degree in nursing, received that through our public library. These are all things you guys are a part of. 33-year-old woman got her RN degree through our study space and Wi-Fi. And another 30-year-old woman studied to pass her bar examination through the use of our public space while she was visiting with her mother. Hundreds and hundreds of applications are sent on behalf of our patrons every single day through our benefit bank coordinator. And many other individuals come in to work on new degrees each day. We are a part of a lot of lives, and we are helping a whole lot of people through that public library. And all these things are possible because of what you all are doing and what we're able to do through your support. I've given you a sheet in your packet to kind of show you a few of our statistics throughout the year in 2018. We had over 47,000 books in our collection, over 5,300 ebooks, 1,842 audio books, and over 2,800 DVDs. And that's one of our big things. We have a lot of folks in our community that cannot afford TV service. So they come in and check out a DVD from the library, and that gets them through the weekend. Over 70,000 visits, and some folks might come more than one time a day, but I think that says a lot about our public library. Over 11,500 public internet or public computer uses, and over 7,500 Wi-Fi uses last fiscal year. We held over 140 programs, which include story times, book talks, community participation, and more. And we work with over 51 community partners to do all that. Last year we served over 7,600 people. And right now, today, I can tell you we're over 10,500. So we're going to probably double what we did last year through our public library outreach. Again, I'm so thankful for all your support throughout the year. We can't do we can't do any of what we do without you guys. We thank you for all you do and being good stewards of our county's funds and making sure that your departments have what they need to succeed. And I just want to thank you, and we'll keep doing what we can do for years to come. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Y'all have any questions for me? Or
I know that I got an elderly lady that helps me take care of my mother-in-law. She got dementia. She was telling me about she got a CD from the library, but she didn't tell me from the library to start with. She told me I ought to see this movie, and I want to get that movie and see it. I said, well, she said that she got it from the library. I said, you got the CD from the library? Mm-hmm. And so I didn't know that. That's a new one on me. So, but she said that there's a lot of good ones there, you know. And so you might start seeing me now.
Yeah.
I thought that was good though. It helped her a lot. She said it might help me.
That's right.
Some stuff, you know. So I just want to share that.
Yeah.
Y'all doing an excellent job, really a great job. I really appreciate what you're doing.
thank you.
Yeah. And I echo that also in the fact that you mentioned being there 4 years and all the new things, but as one thing I admire, whenever the new technology, you're right on the forefront of seeing how you can use it to help our citizens.
Thank you.
And that's a big plus. So we certainly appreciate you and your staff. And I was reading through these testimonials, and I know the young woman that got the master's degree in nursing, and I know the woman that passed the bar exam. So I was tickled to see their names. So thank you so much, and thank your staff on behalf of County Council. Thank you. All right. Approval of minutes from our regular council meeting, which was held February the 25th, 2019. It's been, all right, it's been moved and second that we accept the minutes as printed. All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand, please. Thank you. Mr. Woods, yes, sir. All right, old business, ordinance 779 to approve the conveyance of a 30-foot wide easement and lease agreement to Duke Energy Progress, LLC. This is second reading. Mr. Mullen, do we need to know any additional information?
Yes, ma'am. It's just obviously second reading, but it's to provide access to their substation over near the Delta plant.
Okay. All right. Entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we approve second reading of ordinance 779 for the easement for Duke Energy Progress. All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Thank you. Ordinance 780, authorizing the execution of a municipal election transfer and cost fee agreement between Marlboro County and the town of McCall. Second reading.
Yes, ma'am. This is a standard agreement we have with other towns that the Election Commission asked us to put in place to govern their conducting elections for towns in the county. So it's just a standard agreement. It just hadn't been done yet for McCall.
All right, thank you. Entertain a motion, please.
Second.
Moved and second that we approve second reading of ordinance 780. All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hands. Thank you. Next, ordinance 781, to provide for the franchising procedure and standards for private ambulance service in Marlboro County. Second reading. Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Martin,
This is,
please.
as we tackle the problem of EMS, we also are looking at regulating other ambulance services in the county. You know, you've seen some of them spring up more and more, and this is an agreement or a process that other counties have done in the state and to make sure those folks have the proper licensing and meet the proper protocol from DHEC and that sort of thing. So this is the second reading, and staff and attorney will take a even more detailed look before third reading, but we are proposing this, and it is in line with what we're doing overall with EMS.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I move we accept ordinance 781.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we accept ordinance 781 for the franchising procedure. All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Thank you. New business, resolution 031001, designating the month of April as the South Carolina Fair Housing Month for 2019. Resolution designating the month of April as the South Carolina Fair Housing Month for 2019, whereas the County of Marlboro desires that all its citizens be afforded the opportunity to attain a decent, safe, and sound living environment, and whereas the County of Marlboro rejects discrimination on the basis of race, religion, color, sex, national origin, disability, and/or familial status in the sale, rental, or provision of other housing services. And whereas the state of South Carolina enacted the South Carolina Fair Housing Law in 1998, and whereas April is recognized nationally as Fair Housing Month, now therefore be it resolved that the County of Marlboro does designate April 2019 as Fair Housing Month. Passed and adopted this 12th day of March 2019. Entertain a motion.
So move.
All right.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we adopt resolution 031901. All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Thank you. Housing is very critical in our county, so it's good to see that. Resolution 031902, approving an amendment to the 2018-2019 budget to establish an enterprise fund and capital and expenses budget related to the implementation of a county-funded and operated emergency medical services, a new EMS department. Mr. Mullen, the floor is yours.
Yes, ma'am. You all have a copy of the resolution with attached budget on it that was handed to you, or was not in your packet, but you should have it there. As we get closer and closer to actually having ambulances running, we're doing a lot of taking care of a lot of the details and fine-tuning the financial part of this. So what you'll see here is a budget 2018-19 amendment for us, what we feel we need for the rest of the year. It's about $2.7 million, but let me break that down briefly. That includes the money we pay the current contract operator, Marlboro Rescue, so that's in there because that will continue until that contract expires. It also includes $1.2 million in capital outlay to buy ambulances like you see across the street tonight. The first one's been delivered, or almost delivered. And so that is offset by revenue that comes in already. It's offset by the tax millage that we already charge. It's offset by grant proceeds that the Charities Trust has graciously awarded the county of $300,000. And it also benefits before July from $850,000 that we will receive through a lease purchase agreement, and I'll explain that in just a second. And then finally, you've already voted to take $500,000 out of county reserves to put towards this effort. If you look at the 2019-2020 fiscal year, this is more of a projected budget. You'll obviously have to come to you in the budget process to pass that. But it does begin to give you a picture of what we're dealing with here. And that is almost a $3 million operation. Now, that's a scary number, but it's an expensive endeavor. Of that money, we will continue to receive the money we now collect through the tax millage, which is about $1.1 million. We also expect to receive a good portion equal to that or greater than that from billing insurance companies for the service, and that's what you do. That's what Marlboro Rescue does. That number is very conservative at 1.3. That could go up. We hope it goes up. We also have asked and received positive feedback from the Charities Trust with regards to a 5-year commitment of money that we could then use to pay off that lease purchase agreement. So we would have to borrow the money, effectively borrow the money, and then they would pay the note for 5 years. And then finally, you'll see on the last line, I have $330,000 out of county reserves. We, at this time, think that's the way to budget it because we're hoping for more billed revenue. It may be by the time we get to June that council decides, or through the workshop, we all come to the conclusion that we should see if there's a millage increase. But that's, taxpayers can only bear so much. So it may be best that we run a deficit and then see where we are and then move forward with it. Our intent is to not put more of a burden on taxpayers, obviously. A couple of other, and also in the attachment you have is a capital budget that you can see that outlines all of what we call capital equipment, which are items with 3 or 5 years of a life or longer. So there's ambulances on here, there's cardiac monitors, there's lots of expensive gadgets that keep you alive when they put you in the back of the ambulance. And a lot of this stuff we're having to buy brand new to be able to start up. Fortunately, again, we've already received $300 of this money from the Charities Trust, and we anticipate more to cover that. So we really, really appreciate what they've done. They've really stepped up and done the right thing here. One other thing I wanted to make you aware of, a lot of these things that we're moving forward with, we're having to do under the emergency provision of the procurement code for the ordinance for the county. And so I wanted that to be on the record. What we're trying to do on things that are typically a long-term agreement, we'll do it for a short period of time to get us started. And then we can come back and look at it and receive more competitive proposals on that. But the resolution that we put in front of you amends the budget and also reinforces the fact that we are moving fast and staff can go ahead and execute things to make this happen. And then we'll come back before June and y'all can bless it for next year on a more normal timeline. And I think there's one other thing. Did want you to be aware and have your blessing for the headquarters facility. Staff has looked at different options and feels like the best option for a headquarters facility is what is now the NETC classroom building on Marlboro Street, kind of behind the library and the Murkison building. As you know, we made a swap or whatever with NETC in its time. And while there are other needs for that building, EMS is top priority. We'll have to go in there and put a locker room in, which will cost some money. We are learning that you don't necessarily have to have, excuse me, a covered thing to park these trucks under, because they're moving all the time. And the spares we will put somewhere. But that's the direction we're going in now, unless someone has an issue about it tonight. But That's a lot in a short period of time, but that's kind of where we are. We are making progress. We are getting close to hiring people. We've got equipment, so we're looking forward to being in motion by July 1st. So any questions, I'll try to answer.
Questions or comments? Well, I do know that a lot of man hours and women hours went into this, and I'm confident that the county is moving forward in the right direction to ensure our citizens that we take their health and welfare serious. We want to treat them just like we would want to be treated if we had an emergency. And to know that we have moved forward, and I'm sure these numbers were crunched, so there's no fat in these numbers. And if you did notice, the first ambulance is parked outside. It looks good. Please take a look at it on your way out. It's going to Charleston for a vendor show. But I'm just thankful that we had the resources, and this is why you have savings, your contingency funds, so that we could move forward. And we thank all the agencies, especially the charities, trust that gave us money and will continue to support this. So we have a new director. I understand that you all are getting a lot of applications for positions. So I feel quite comfortable that we will be in position to start running July 1st, 12:01 a.m., if not before if necessary. And that really makes me feel proud that we have worked together as a county council, and that we can show the people that we are good stewards of their monies. We're spending their monies for the right thing. And that's really important to me, because it takes money to do the things that we need to do, and this is something that we had to do. So thank you so much, and thank the staff that worked on this. Thank you so much. It's a nice pre-birthday present. Thank you. And I want to ride in the... It's a Ford, but it's a diesel.
I see you were right in the front, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm not getting stuck in Marlboro County. No, I didn't know what you said. No. Oh, yeah.
We'll make
you
it
let
clear.
me drive, and I might want to take it around the block.
We'll make it clear.
Thank you. All right. Entertain a motion?
Second.
It's been moved in second that we approve Resolution 03-1902. All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Thank you. I almost forgot the important part. Next, Resolution 03-1903, authorizing submission of a grant application to South Carolina Rural Infrastructure Authority by Marlboro County on behalf of the Marlboro Water Company for RIF grant funds for the construction of a new well and associated infrastructure in the amount of $355,700, and authorization to accept the grant if awarded. And there's no match for us or anything?
No, ma'am, this is, it has to go through the county, and we've done these, I think, one for Wallace Water. And the resolution's written where any cost has to be borne by Marlboro Water. The county has no responsibility there.
All right. Glad to know they're getting a new well. Entertain a motion?
Motion.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gladden, second by Mr. Blackman for Resolution 03-1903. All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Thank you. All right, next, EMS facilities and capital expense update.
I put
You
it
did
all in
already,
one.
wrapped
Yes,
it
ma'am.
in, all right, very good. Appointments to boards and commissions, we've got several, they're in our packet. Are we voting on them individually or as a group, sir?
I'm not aware of any.
Well, I thought I saw some reappointments.
That was the ones we done last time.
Yeah, I think
Oh, I'm looking through the minutes, okay,
Yes,
all right, I've been trying to get
We'll
my
probably have some
paperwork
next time,
straight.
though.
Thank you, all right. Yes.
Dr. Stillwell, did we add him last week? Okay.
Yeah. All right, You gonna do the finance report, sir?
Yes, ma'am,
All
it's
right.
short and sweet. How about that? I'm not nearly
Thank you.
as pleasing to look at as some of the other staff members, but Miss Ainsley Moore is out. She's had her baby, and so everybody's healthy, so we're grateful for that. And in her absence, staff members have stepped up, Kay Liner and Doug Carabeau and Doris Sumter, to take pieces of that job. And that's worked well, and also a good thing is everybody gets cross-trained. We work very well together, the senior staff folks. As far as the finances go, we're at 65% of, expenses are at 65% of what we budgeted, and revenues at 66%. So we're right on target, or at least it seems that way. We're starting the budget process before the end of this month. We will continue to focus on trying to understand the money coming in. We have a pretty good grip on the money going out, so that we can predict what's coming in and try to, minimize the impact on taxpayers. And then I'll switch hats and go into the administrative report. As we always do, we'll recognize service anniversaries. We have Dwan Bostic with 16 years, Lawrence Brand, 17 years, Ron Covington with 25 years, Vanessa Dowdy with 9 years, Anna Fry with 21 years, Miss Bobby Sue Latham with 15 years, and Kevin Thomas with 30 years. We'll just remind y'all again about the Economic Interest Forum, the ethics report, due the end of the month, and they will come after you with the late fee if you don't do it. So please remember. We planned a cleanup day for May 4th. We had a meeting today with staff to begin that process. Of course, we have a pretty good template to go off of because we had a very successful program last year. We did discover that it's the same day as McCall's Mayfest. So we're going to be in contact with the leaders over there and make sure that we somehow coordinate this to where it doesn't impact them. This obviously is earlier in the morning, so hopefully it'll be done, or the folks doing it over there could be done soon enough not to impact that. We've also invited the city of Bennettsville and the other towns to participate and hope to hear back from them soon. Well, we're excited about it, and set kind of a high bar last year, so it's a little bit scary that we don't do it as well as last year, but got a good starting point. Economic development, we've received the engineering drawings from Project Sunshine Heiress, Baldor, for us to review. Donald Hamilton's handling that, so they are moving forward with construction. I also had been in contact with them about their state incentives, so they're handling, improving the building and counting the money. So they are moving forward. I know everyone's anxious to apply for jobs and all that, and we hope that'll come here very soon. But the project is moving forward. With regards to Delta, we're still on that, and we're focusing on lately on the reactivating the water and sewer plants, which is a big deal. But we have a prospect that is interested in it for that reason. So we've been out there a couple of times and had engineers out there to look at what that would take. I went out there this weekend and met the alligator that lives in the pond out there. So, it's a wildlife thing now. Borough, we haven't talked about Borough in a long time because I think we all got tired of talking about Borough. But we are having a lot of inquiries about it as a warehouse. Some of it's from the inland port and that kind of thing. And since I've been here, I've limited any kind of spending any money on it to what was coming in. But I do think we're going to have to look at adding a couple of docks because there's no real way to back up a truck and unload it. It's level with the ground. There is an old dock there, but it's not safe. So we're going to get some estimates on that, and of course we'll bring that to you all and try to pay for that with what's coming in. But we have about 40,000 square feet that's pretty nice, and it's about $4,000 a month, so it doesn't take long to pay for it. So we've had some interest, or had an inquiry here in the last, since our last meeting, which wasn't very long ago, about solar farms. Other counties around us are starting to see these projects. Darlington did a large one. Chesterfield's done a large one. The solar companies want the same incentives that an industry would get. And their argument is that they're not putting any burden on, schools or fire departments or anything like that. So what we're doing is working with, I've been in contact with other counties to find out what they've done. What is sort of the proposal that counties do for these folks. I will report back to you all on that. It'll probably be an executive session thing, but they do invest a lot of money. You know, a small amount of acreage is $10, $12 million. So it's, you know, it's potentially a good thing for us. As far as stuff for the administrator's report, again, we just met, so it's not very much. Public Service Director Carabo, you know, it's back in the summer when he first came on board last year, we worked on a roads plan to prioritize the unpaved dirt roads in the county as to which ones we focus on and what we do to them. So Doug and his staff have picked that back up. We're not past the problems of the hurricane, but we can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. And so what they've done is they prioritize these roads using factors like how many people per mile, that kind of thing. And their goal is to put rock on 22 miles of road. And they've come up with cost and, you know, all that, and now they're finalizing it and will be coming to council. Doug has already met with paving committee chairman Joe Breeden, just trying to see what we can all do together to pay for the rock. But the good thing is if we can do this, then we limit the maintenance we're doing and we can then focus on other things. Right now, you know, you hear people talk about how they have to pay on their gas, on their vehicle taxes, a fee. We charge a fee for road maintenance. Well, that brings in about $600,000 and we're spending pushing $700,000. So people think, you know, there's this big giant pot of money and there's really not, and we're actually spending more of that for that purpose than we're taking in. And I made a real effort when I did the first budget to make sure we only spent that money on road maintenance. So like a lot of things here, we're seeing the decline even in vehicle property tax revenue coming in. I don't know where the vehicles are going, but our revenue's not going up, it's going down. But this would help us long term if we could do this. People would have better roads and we could limit some expenses moving forward. That's my report. I can answer any questions.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Good report. Good report. There were no citizens' requests before council. Sheriff, would you have any comments you'd like to make?
I'd just like to say again that I am so appreciative for the county council and for you all coming out to the get-together that I had for the January. People will thank, thoughtful, and as the sheriff, I will appreciate. Thank you again. Appreciate you.
Thank you. All right, comments before council. Mr. Odom, we'll start on your end tonight.
Of course, the big thing in McCall, again, is still Highway 381. And the bid, close to $100,000, did go to DHEC last Tuesday, and they're reviewing it. Once it gets their approval, they will forward it to DOT, and I guess DOT will schedule contractors to get in. I think the engineer, when we had the meeting over here in Bennettsville, he said that he could do it actually in 2 weeks if he had good weather. So hopefully we're going to get that problem resolved here within the next month or so, or a month and a half maybe. And it'll just help everybody. EMS, the fire department, having to go around, it's like a 10 or 15 minute detour to go around McCall. And you know, when you're dealing with EMS issues, they're normally very time sensitive, so we need to get it open. Like Ron said, our Mayfest, it is May the 4th. The other thing, the old City Hall in McCall, it closed back when the new City Hall was open on Main Street, and we did have an election in it last term. There's a fitness company that's using it, so it's basically old City Hall is closed down. So I drafted a letter to the Marlboro County Election Commission to have it moved to the Pentecostal Holiness Church gym with the approval of the church, which I got that from Pastor Byrd, and they did approve that last Wednesday night. So the new McCall polling place will be at the gym, which will be a lot better. You walk in right off the street. It's got plenty of wide parking out there for people. And the board went and looked at it before we approved it, and they gave it their blessings and stuff. So starting with the November election, it will be in the McCall precinct, will be at the McCall Pentecostal gym.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Real quick, the 2 reports that we received tonight was excellent. From the library, here again, it's like surprising me with a lot of things I didn't know that you brought to light, and your report was great. To our administrative report that you brought in tonight, we get reports like that, man, that just works out great for us. So, man, good.
On those roads, Mr. Odom, good luck. We've been working on Highway 1 for, seemed like forever, and, you know, I went by there the weekend, and it's still full of water, so I don't know how they're going to move forward with it, so we hope they can do something. I'd ask Administrator, we have OY Road, and last time we asked the engineer, they said it was not even on the list to be fixed. They said once the landowner fixed the dam, they would repair the road. Oh. So, I mean, if the landowner repairs the dam, it does not want a road across there, what's going to happen? So, either way, you know, we'll see if we can get some of our legislative delegation to look into that. I mean, we have a lot of interest from our citizens, even Highway 1. You know, it's they need to do something else than what they're doing. So, you know, we asked some local people, and one of the guys said, well, I rode up there, but I didn't feel like getting out of the truck, so he's not even checking on it. So I don't know what direction you go at whenever you ask the DOT officials, and that's the answer you get. So maybe we can get some help out of Columbia somewhere, if you would check on that. Another thing I noticed, I'm glad we're going to have a countywide cleanup. I went to our convenience center today, and right before you get to the gate, somebody dumped off a Christmas tree and a couch within 100 yards from where you can actually dispose of the property. So if Facebook's watching, I mean, our citizens have to take pride in everything we're doing, or we're doing everything for naught. I mean, you know, it's some roads that were cleaned up last year looks worse now than they did whenever we cleaned them up. And that's a shame. I mean, the many hours that people's taking and doing it, but is to throw a couch and a Christmas tree out, you know, less than 100 yards from where you can dispose of it properly. I mean, somebody's got to take a little more pride than that. So we ask that, we know that codes enforcement and all y'all doing a good job, so continue to do that. So hopefully we can catch some of them doing it and wrap it up. So, but that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Sir?
Well, I'd like to commend Barbara Grooms on her good work with the library, and Ron Nolan and staff with the hard work they're doing with the EMS service. And that's all I've got.
Mr. Woods?
I just want to give a shout out in the recreation department. The basketball season had come to an end, and I'd like to thank all the coaches from the small fry, 8 and under, all the way up to the junior boys. And I would like to give a very special shout out to Wood Johnson and the coaching staff from Clio. They coached the 12 and under boys. Saturday before last, they left Bentonville at 6 o'clock in the morning to drive to Georgetown and play 3 games. They won the district, got back home probably about 8 or 9 o'clock. For kids 12 and under to get up, and the parents, and you got to give hat to the parents, because the kids don't drive yet, at least not we know of, Sheriff. You know, I don't think they drive. But for parents and coaches to get up 6 o'clock in the morning and drive to Georgetown with kids at 12 and under and play all day long and win the district championship. And last Friday we played Florence in the first round of the state, and we lost by 1. But, you know, they still need to be commended, and they did an excellent job. And that goes to all the coaches. You know, recreation, like we all know, is a big part of our high school success, because, you know, rec department is a feeder program. And when our feeder program is not at par, our high school level teams would not be at par, because it is a building block. But I commend all the coaches throughout the county for all their hard work and their free time, because they don't get paid. And it is a task to deal with parents and kids. So my hat's off to the basketball program. And they're getting ready for the baseball program, which is the longest season. I think they start playing in April, and they don't get stopped till July. And you know, we were fortunate enough to be good enough and lucky enough, you know, they play all the way through August. So baseball, softball season is up and coming, and Facebook land, please come out and sign your kids up from T-ball all the way up to the majors. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Everybody brought up good points, and I had an opportunity to let some citizens know that the county was not responsible, nor did we have the funds to repair these roads, and I had some citizens talk about how much more in gas and time they're having to spend to get to work, to go shopping and do other things because of the delays on Old Wild Road, and you mentioned Academy Road, and even Highway number 1. So I think the state DOT is really, I don't know what to say about them, but maybe we can ask our legislative delegation to take a look into this and to see why is it taking so long. It'll be September, it'll be a year soon. So if we can get a letter to them, that might help, I don't know. Thanks again to everyone for all the hard work, for the things you do for the citizens of our county. And if there's no other comments or questions, I call this meeting adjourned. Thank you. All right. Come, we take care of business.